I'm AK.
And I'm Paul.
And this is Paul's Lego Wall.
And we got out a set that you have memories of this time.
Yeah, these are a bunch of Mixels.
And I completely forgot I was going to look up their names.
Okay, you'll just have to put it in the show notes. Are you
I will put it in the show notes. These are Mixels. Mixels came out about 5 years ago. There were 9 different series, each of 3 different characters, and each of them had a theme. I think these are the construction themed Mixels.
They're definitely construction.
I forget what they were called. Probably something silly like the Constructor Bots.
So cute.
So this one is kind of a chainsaw, but also a person.
This one is definitely
that's a cement mixer. I think he might be called Mixel or Mixer.
Is it Sir Mix-a-Lot maybe?
Maybe. And this is the foreman, who and you can see that these actually make a lot of use of rock pieces.
Yeah.
So between them you get a whole rock. This actually has grey bananas. This is the only time grey bananas ever came in a set as use as the years. And I remember we bought these, I think, when we were visiting your parents for Christmas.
Yeah.
And we sat in the hotel room and tried to build them without instructions.
Which you kind of can, because they came in these little poly bags, right?
Yep.
And so they're pretty simple. And
Yep.
on the poly bag, you sort of look at it, and there's not that many pieces, and like it's sort of obvious, for example, where the teeth go.
Yep. It was like between 50 and 100 pieces, closer to 50 usually.
Yeah, and it was a fun sort of silly challenge to try to build them. First of all, I love Mixels. They're adorable. They're really goofy. To me, they feel like the kind of stuff that when kids are just sort of free building, they build like kind of weird, extremely creative, strange things that are yet somehow sort of anthropomorphic. Because it's like, let's put eyes on it. Now suddenly it's alive.
These are the eyes that are actually printed minifigure heads, right? Yes.
Some of these, yeah.
Yes, these ones are. Yep.
They're pretty weird. They're sort of creepy. They don't really follow rules of like how are natural objects made. They don't even follow symmetry rules. I mean, like, look at this fellow. These don't have as many teeth as some of the others. Didn't the Mixels also come with like evil?
Yes, there should be a Nixel who was the evil antagonist.
Which were tiny. I don't know where you put the Nixels. We'll have to do.
I think the Nixels. Well, the Nixels all look the same, unfortunately. Although there was, I think I maybe built them into the King Nixel, which you could do, which put a whole bunch of Nixels together into a big articulated Super Nixel.
Super Nixel. Anyway, these are. I don't really have that much to say about these. They're adorable.
I have something that I'll note, which is there's so these tiny ball joints were created for this theme and have since gone on to be used a lot. They're really good for basically small connections, often in small mechs, but small robots, other things that need to move around. Because the previous joint system was much bigger, and it was great if you wanted to do a sort of Yatel robot. But for a robot this tall, it was too much space. But they great pieces. I'm really glad that those got invented and those came out. And apparently they took a lot of engineering to get the friction right. But they came out. They're wonderful. They're kind of nicely posable, and you can sort of do walking motions with the legs. Anyway, we're fond of Mixels, both of us. I think you're more fond of them than I am. But they're just good, silly fun. And unfortunately, after 3 years, they stopped doing them, which is a shame because they were nice, like $5 sets that I could just buy on a whim occasionally.
Do you know why they stopped doing them?
I think it just ran its course. There was a tie-in Cartoon Network TV series, and I'm not sure it did very well. So they were sort of, I think they were hoping for more. I'm going to use a horrible business word here, synergy between the TV show and the sets, and it didn't quite happen. I mean, thankfully they kept producing them until the last run.
So if someone wanted to build this stuff, do you think you could get all the pieces easily, or some of them are really rare? You did mention the bananas.
With the exception of the bananas, I think a lot of the pieces here are really quite common. And, the Mixels haven't been out of production for that long. I'm not sure there's a huge vocal fan base trying to pick them up. So you're not going to pay more you're not going to pay that much more than the street price. I mean, maybe $10 instead
price,
of $5.
You make it sound like
I
missiles
know.
are like contraband.
Yeah, but yeah, you'll.
Whoa!
Earthquake.
That's life in California. So
yeah.
Sometimes
you need a table and can pretend it's an earthquake. Where was I? Yeah, so you can buy these relatively cheaply if you want to get hold of them. I mean, not as cheaply as they were at the time,
right.
but they're still not going to break the bank.
Okay, I should rank them.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say Mixels, especially the construction Mixels, A.
Okay.
They're not an A+ because they're not like going above and beyond, but they're adorable. They're fun to build. You could play with them. You could rebuild with them. I think that's part of their value is that like if you wanted to take these apart and build new wacky construction things, you totally could.
And I think there were instructions on the website. Maybe you can still get hold of them for combining them into one big mixel per tribe.
So I just think they're like super playable in what I consider like the correct way of playing with Lego, which is taking them apart and making something of your own. Even though we haven't done that, but you could. So I think I could. I think they're just adorable, fun, silly, and they're not like a spaceship or some other outside of the Lego world. Like they arise out of the logic of Lego itself. So yeah, they're just great. So A, but they're still just tiny, silly sets. So only A. That's it.
Yeah, seems good.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.